The man, Dr. Alhaji Mahamudu Bawumia.
We as a nation is blessed to have His Excellency, the Vice President, serving in this our time where Ghana needs men who are sacrificial in their heart and who are committed to the cause of this nation.
Dr. Bawumia has always exhibited the highest professional qualities everywhere he's worked, no matter his position. Former Minister of State Elizabeth Ohene says this is what drew her closer to Dr. Bawumia when they both worked on a project as Minister of State and as a Deputy Governor respectively.
He kept to time. If the meeting, we decided that the only way we were going to have this thing, everybody on the thing was busy. So we decided that we will meet in my office at 7 a.m. twice a week. And he was always there at 7. I decided this is a man I can do business with because there's nothing I hate more than a meeting scheduled to start at whatever and you get there and half the people. He was always there on time. So that's how I met him.
I never really saw him in action at the Bank of Ghana, but I used to serve on the board of Central University, and he came and did a little stint there, and the quality of his lectures made me know that he was a man of deep intellect.
An attribute of a man on a mission. He is destined for greatness, and everything is making sense now.
It's just incredible, So yeah, it's quite interesting how his life has gone, but every step seems to feed into another, and it's like one move delivers him to the next level unwittingly. So he's not planning it, but it helps him closer to getting to the next level. So it's kind of makes sense if we all kind of think he is a man of destiny.
So Dr. Bawumia transitioned from a research assistant to a special assistant to the governor. But one morning, he went to work as a special assistant and returned home as a deputy governor. This is, however, not what shocked President Kufuor. What happened in 2008 was the real surprise.
The party met at the Aliza Hotel. So, candidate Kufuor, who with whom are you running? And out of the blue, the name comes, Bawumia. So there was uproar within the hall because the party didn't know him, didn't know Bawumia. Oh, the many bright young people within the party ranks, they couldn't take it. So what? You bring this, you see, party member, then look at him, he said, you bring him from outside to become a running mate, meaning he is coming to supersede them. They wouldn't say it, but that was what happened.
There is a storm, and a raging one at that. A voice is needed to command the wind and waves to be quiet and be still. And guess who did that?
It was only one member then who stood up to appeal for the party to accept the nomination from the candidate. And that was late Bawumia, who was then finance minister. Bawumia's statement was that he, as finance minister, had been working with the Bank of Ghana, and that person had worked loyally, I said the word loyally, for the policies to support government. So if the candidate says is the guy to run with, he was appealing that the party accepts the nomination. After that, there was still some murmuring. Then the outgoing president, I was there sitting there. I had to tell the conference or meeting at Aliza. We've heard from the finance minister of the loyalty and competence of this. And our candidates has come out suggesting that name. So I would appeal to all and sundry to agree with candidates. And that's how Bawumia became the running mate. I didn't know of him lobbying anybody to be made a running mate.
The rank and file of the party has accepted Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia to partner then-candidate Akufo-Addo. His wife, Hajia Samira Bawumia, also needed to be convinced about the implications of that appointment.
Surprised is not the I don't know what expression I can use. We were shocked. We didn't sleep for a couple of days. I just didn't know. We didn't know what to do. But as I told you many years ago, that I was sold as soon as he said, I need to do this for the people, you know. I came back to this country to serve. He left his job in America to come back to Ghana. In fact, people were like, why would you leave and come all the time? And he says, no, because that's been my plan, to always come back and serve. And this is in service to my people. So I can't turn my back to it, even though it wasn't something that he had planned for or worked towards. But it was a fantastic opportunity to do even more than he had been doing for the years in which he had been back in the country.
So the banker is now a politician, but he needed to learn on the job to become a good one.
Everything that he sets his mind to, I am glad, as I said, he's not afraid of hard work. So if there's something that comes up and he's not sure about, the next time you meet him, you can immediately find out that he has read up on it. He has taken that chance to educate himself on it. I like that.
He metamorphosed from an academic and a banker into an astute politician and a very effective one.
I'm sure if he had his own choice, he would not have spent all the time campaigning. He would rather get the statistics and the details and, as usual, think out of the box and make proposals to solve problems. That's him. That's the real Dr. Bawumia.
2016, in the midst of the campaign, it was hard. Then there was a drawing up our manifesto. So it was this 1 week that Dr. Bawumia set up, and there were, I've forgotten how many of us there were, not many. We went to Sogankope for a week. And we would start in the morning, and some days we would finish at 2 a.m. And he would say, oh yes, see you at 8:30 in the morning. And he wanted me to have a setup of what we had agreed on, what the things were that there hadn't been agreement on, what we needed to do by the next morning before. So I took the decision that this was a man who was not afraid of hard work. So I thought, if we are going to have, considering the kind of situation we were going to inherit if we won the election, we better have somebody who was not afraid of hard work.
The president, I mean, he himself is really very hardworking, and he says the same about Dr. Bawumia. They're always in the office working till late hours, both of them. They're very, very similar. I think that Dr. Bawumia is a godsend to Nana Akufo-Addo.
16 years ago, the Mahamudu Bawumia and I first met and decided to join our lives together. I can say that there's not one day that I've regretted joining my life to his and his to me. In opposition as well as in government, he has been a model of loyalty, of honesty, of dedication, and of patriotism.
I admire him since he became the Vice President of the Republic. He has never said, my government. He says, the government of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. I clap for him. He never ascribed anything to himself. He gives glory to God and then ascribe everything to his boss. I am 73 years old, but I've never seen a vice president who has been so loyal to his boss than him.
Sometimes I want him to slow down. I say, oh, you're tired. He says, I didn't tell you I was tired. But it's obvious he's tired. But I've come to accept that it is the passion and it is who he is. He lives to give. He likes to do things well. And for him, he cannot do anything but that. So I've come to understand that that is who he is. He's born to serve.
Here is a man who has decided that politics is service. It's getting into public office to serve the nation at the highest level. And so for somebody like Dr. Bawumia, it is not something to joke with. It is almost like a God-given responsibility.
In fact, I joined many people who say that since the inception of the Fourth Republic, he has been the best vice president, very best hard-working vice president.
He's very hardworking. He thinks about the future a lot, and he encourages a lot of young people. I find that a lot. I remember there was a meeting one time, that a very serious meeting, and I looked around and everybody in the room was a young person, and I wondered, this is Dr. Bawumia was having this meeting, taking ideas from young people, and he always wanted to hear what they had to say. I mean, I've sat in meetings with him where the elderly folk, and you're thinking that, okay, maybe this is not a place I should make a comment, or I should keep quiet because I'm young, and he would actually call you out, yes, call, what do you think, and ask for your thoughts, and you find out what you said actually contributes to the final decision.
He's so passionate about the development of the youth, but helping them develop with the new technologies that we have. It's no use holding a wonderful university degree and a PhD and so on if you cannot use the digital divide to even enhance whatever you have. And I think his desire to get young people to know that, look, this is the greatest opportunity you have to utilize your mind and your skills.
His role as the Vice President of Ghana for almost 2 terms has been exemplary.
I believe that he is a true economist. Yes, and so I believe that he is the one for. I think he's done well. He's done well as a vice president, even if all his ideas were not, taken as a vice president. I think he did well. He brought ideas, some were taken, and the impact is obvious to all of us. So we would like to see more of that.
His digitalization is a huge thing. The world is now going digital, everything, and he has, the mind for it. He understands it, and that digitalization will take us places. And so that's another thing that I really admire about him.
Usually, all vice presidents at some point have uncomfortable relations with their president, all of them. because they don't believe that they are given enough scope to perform. So it is a very delicate relationship. But I've been watching from afar, and I see how Dr. Bawumia has managed it. It's a very touch and go process, and managing that process, you need a lot of skills that have to do with how you manage human egos, how you manage people. Because, you know, if you're vice president and you are not allowed, or you have the perception that you're not being allowed to perform your role as the number 2 person, other actors in government would appear to be performing more important roles than the vice president. And any vice president, would be uncomfortable with it. But I've been watching this vice president from afar, and I noticed that he's managed it very, very, very well, and still been able to get on with the work, because he had a good idea about what the job was about.
Since he's becoming the vice president, we've all seen him. The depth of his knowledge of the economy, of finance, his vision, talking digitalization. He doesn't boast, but he's also internationally exposed.
It is a position that is constraining by its nature, because you're restrained, because you're not giving specific roles. And I think that's why many others have struggled, because it is not easy to have the title without the power, so to speak, right? And it takes a very patient person, a very clever person, and a very intuitive person, an intelligent person, to be able to know when not to overstep, you know. But to be fair to his boss as well, his boss has been very respectful of him, the President and Dr Bawumia, very respectful of him. He's always respected his ideas, and they've had a fantastic relationship. He's had nothing but, he's treated him well.
Oh, Doc, please don't change. Continue to be Dr. Bawumia that I've always known, and the people of Ghana will be grateful to you for that.
Most vice presidents have some kind of love-hate relationships with their bosses. But his genuine humility and loyalty made President Akufo-Addo comfortable to give him assignments, to go about the assignments on his own. Which means that President Akufo-Addo trusted him as somebody who was loyal to him as his boss, and loyal to the party, as well as loyal to the people of Ghana. And that's why he assigned him to do things that are paying off.
He hasn't disappointed. I wouldn't support him. I will not have supported him if I didn't sense there's something in there that should be brought out to serve the country.
Alhaji Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia is a true man of destiny.